Season 5 of The Boys had made many amendments to the show's usual formula, and giving Kimiko a voice was a bold yet effective change from the status quo. Ever since she debuted in Season 1, Kimiko has been completely silent, communicating only through sign language, which is how she has grown so close to Frenchie. Their bond has continued to evolve over the seasons, leading to Kimiko speaking for the first time as she called out, "No," while Frenchie was being taken away in Season 4's finale. Her despair seemed to help overcome the trauma that caused her to stop talking initially, leading to her speaking regularly in Season 5. While this change has allowed Kimiko and Frenchie to form a romantic relationship in The Boys, her dialogue hasn't gone down well with all viewers, as many believe her lines have been cringy while feeling somewhat out of character. However, despite these critiques, the series just proved that allowing her to speak verbally was the correct decision. During The Boys Season 5, Episode 7's ending, Frenchie stepped up to protect Kimiko by having her hide behind Zinc with Sister Sage while Homelander arrived. Unfortunately, this led to the OG member being confronted by the central villain and eventually killed, but he did get a moment with Kimiko before succumbing to his blood loss. Here, the couple was able to have a heartbreaking goodbye that paid tribute to the kind of caring individual Frenchie was, since he was more concerned about Kimiko than his own state. In response, Kimiko was full of emotion, allowing Karen Fukuhara to deliver one of the show's most powerful performances. Hearing her whimper such simple lines like, "Please don't leave me," and crying out, "Frenchie," after he passed provided more emotional weight than we're used to seeing in The Boys, none of which would have happened without Kimiko being able to speak, hence why Season 5 had to let her talk. Would Kimiko and Frenchie's final scene have worked better with sign? There is no denying Frenchie and Kimiko's final scene together was extremely powerful thanks to their dialogue exchange, but there is a chance it would have worked even better with sign. The pair have conversed this way many times before, and it has never detracted from the audience's enjoyment, suggesting sign language could have made this moment even more meaningful. Seeing Kimiko trying to express her emotions without her voice in such an overwhelming situation would have added a different dynamic, but given Frenchie's condition, he almost certainly couldn't reciprocate. Still, we've seen Frenchie speak verbally while Kimiko signs before, so it wouldn't be completely unfamiliar territory if things played out this way. It would have been a symbolic way to wrap up their story and show just how deep their connection goes, but it's hard to conclusively say it would have been better. As it was, Frenchie's death scene was flawless, and having the two characters audibly communicate allowed Tomer Capone and Karen Fukuhara to deliver extremely memorable performances. Had it been in sign, the actors' facial expressions and subtle mannerisms still could have elevated this interaction, but even if it's simpler, allowing them to outwardly express what they're feeling without any restrictions made the final moments of The Boys' penultimate episode feel perfect. Even if the rest of the episode proved divisive, this was easily its biggest highlight, creating plenty of questions ahead of The Boys' finale about how Kimiko will act going forward. Ultimately, no matter how the show opted to present this scene, it would likely have stood out either way, especially as it doesn't feature this kind of heartbreak very often. Kimiko and Frenchie's final scene was The Boys' most emotional moment yet. Love or hate The Boys, it does several things extremely well. Creating tension, delivering hilarious over-the-top humor, and writing some fantastic characters are all traits that no one can take away from Prime Video's hit series, but we rarely see too many emotional moments, and none have hit the heights of Frenchie and Kimiko's final scene. Butcher's reaction to Becca's death comes close, as does Huey's last moments with his dad, but overall, Kimiko and Frenchie's goodbye tops it, given how central they've been since the start of the story. At times, Frenchie has been the glue who has kept the group together, becoming one of the most moral members by Season 5. He was the only one of the boys not to fight inside Fort Harmony, excluding Starlight, who wasn't there, and he constantly gave the team a fighting chance against Soups with his inventions and experiments. Therefore, losing him was always going to hit hard, but seeing him bleed out in Kimiko's arms hit that much harder due to their inseparable bond. Had it not been for Frenchie, Kimiko would have never joined the boys, and her life would have been extremely different, for better or for worse. Instead, he continued to give her a purpose, make her feel welcomed, and tried to understand her, allowing them to eventually fall in love against all odds. These factors amplified just how devastating Episode 7's closing sequence was, and it's hard to imagine much topping it. Huey and Starlight's relationship is the only thing that could compete, as one of these two dying may cut deeper, but as it stands, Frenchie's death exceeds the emotional depth we're used to in The Boys. The fact that his final line was the same in both the show and the comic was even more bittersweet for those who read the source material, and while it hurts to lose one of the show's best characters, it at least delivers on the high stakes we've been waiting all season to see. Kimiko's divisive dialogue was worth it for this moment. Hearing Kimiko completely unfiltered has been strange and in many cases divisive, but it was worth putting up with those cheesy lines for an excellent payoff. Considering how much her character has changed between the seasons, it's not too surprising that her way of speaking caught some viewers off guard, as she's a lot cruder than many expected. Naturally, being around the boys has influenced her dialect, but her blunt conversations about sex and frequent cursing don't fit her personality from seasons gone by. Still, Kimiko hasn't exactly been sheltered throughout her time with the group, and between Butcher's foul language and Vought's overly modern advertising that she's been exposed to, these things have undoubtedly shaped her. Understandably, not everyone has taken to this, with many finding Kimiko irritating in Season 5.